All right, MMA Maniacs, it's time once again for your weekly MMA podcast called Split Decision, brought to you from the SinCal Studios. Bueller, Dodge, and Dennis ready to break you off some MMA news. Lots going down in the world of mixed martial arts, by the way. Things that just happened today, oddly enough.
Minutes ago.
Breaking news.
This just in.
So we'll go ahead and jump into it from mymmanews.com. We're the official podcast, by the way, if you haven't noticed that. We have atomweight champ Angela Lee injured in a serious car accident.
Yeah, man. Rolled her car 5 to 6 times, according to police in Hawaii.
Dude, she was booking it.
She had to be, right?
She's getting on it.
I rolled a car 3 times once, and that was difficult.
Yeah, I think I did it once. I just don't remember how many times.
Oh, yeah, that was coming across a bridge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rolled a cabbie a few times.
So, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, cabbie?
She was driving her. She said she was driving to her morning training at the gym. She fell asleep at the wheel. If she was not wearing her seatbelt, she could have been seriously injured. She's going to be able to make a full recovery. However, her fight November 24th has been postponed while she heals from this wreck.
Yeah, it's like 2 weeks away, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Pretty crazy though, man. I mean, that car is totaled.
Where's the picture of it?
It's up on our thing, but it's right there.
Oh, it's right there.
You can see it. Yeah.
It's up there.
Do you look up there?
I'm not going to look up
You
there.
don't want to look up there?
All right.
Nope. I don't want to go that far. And you see all these fights? All these great fights that we have that are going to be happening?
These are this weekend?
No. These are just fights that have been announced.
That have been announced.
Fights that are coming up.
That are
Fights
coming up. So
yeah.
we got what do we got? We got JoJo versus Beck Rawlings. We got Jimmy Rivera against Dominic Cruz.
Yeah.
Aljamain Sterling against Ronnie Yaya.
Yeah.
We got Holloway against Edgar. Yeah, guess what? Injury Bug says, fuck you!
That's right.
Fuck all your fights.
Yeah.
You get nothing. So JoJo is out of her fight with Beck.
You win. I lose. Fuck you, Grandma.
Dominic Cruz is out of his fight with whoever
it was.
Riviera, Jimmy Riviera, yeah. Ronnie Yaya is out of his fight with Aljamain Sterling, and of course we got
Edgar's out too.
Edgar's out. Edgar says he put up a thing on Instagram, said hit with a minor setback, should be able to back with full contact in 6 weeks. Thanks to the UFC for having my back. Max, I'll see you down the road. Max Holloway still trying to get a fight. He's trying to make that fight happen. Was a UFC 218, I believe, in Detroit. Looking for an opponent. There's a bunch of rumors going out there.
Fighters looking for fights.
A bunch of rumors going out there.
Log in now.
They got a couple weeks to make
I've
something
heard
happen.
Cub Swanson might get pulled from his main event fight at Fresno and might get moved to that fight to fight for the title. Finally, it's something he's been asking for. Obviously, you had Jose Aldo and Ricardo Lamas who are fighting each other. Both raised their hands, said they want the fight. They want a title shot. And I've also heard somewhat rumors of Korean Zombie, although I think he's still injured, so he's probably least likely.
If you got guys who are already in camp that all are willing to do it, then you might as well make this fight happen.
I think Cub Swanson makes the most sense.
Hey, we just interviewed some 155ers in Iowa. Call them up.
Yeah. Well, and then, of course, the other crazy rumor I've heard is Donald Cerrone stepping up to take this fight, which I think, how does he get a title shot?
I thought he's still broken half.
Yeah, it has like a broken
his face,
nose, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
No way,
I don't think that's happening. So that was one of the
Cub Swanson. I'll go with
I think Cubs should get it. And again, I think he's already in camp for a fight in December. Why not?
Yeah.
Be a good time to pull him out.
It'd be great if Cub Swanson wins. We have all these California titles again.
It'd be rad, wouldn't it? It's been a while.
Yeah. It's hard when you're such a great state.
And
it is. It's just rough.
You're so awesome of a state.
So heavy.
we also have, not only does the Injury Bug like to
You don't mind paying more for gas.
fuck up a lot of fights, we have USADA with Jeff Davinsky here doing some detective work, has found 4 fighters in the past 2 weeks.
I didn't know the Anderson popped.
Anderson popped this morning.
Oh, okay.
Anderson Silva failed his USADA drug test, out of competition. He is out of his fight against Kevin Gastelum. This is the second time they tried to get these guys to fight, right? It should never happen. The first time, Kevin Gastelum was smoking the devil's lettuce.
Is Anderson Silva boner pills again or what?
We don't know. Just says that he has failed his out of competition test.
Taking that Bob the Builder. Oh, yeah.
On that same note, we
Adberry's
have
hooking him up, you know?
What you need?
Ion Cutabella was pulled from his fight before UFC 217 due to his out of competition test.
You are not going to beat these guys.
Azuna Anawayu pulled again. He has also failed his out of competition test. And the other one was Grant Dawson, busted for an out of competition test.
He looks like he does stuff though.
that's a.
Just so you know, under the UFC
It looks like
anti-doping
he goes to
policy,
frat parties every once in a while and just starts popping random shit.
there is a full and fair legal process that is afforded to all athletes before any sanctions are imposed. So,
All right, well,
just saying, you shouldn't be doing the sniff test like old Jeff Novinsky up here.
it's too bad. It's you just get popped and there's no trial. You just get pulled from everything. You don't get a chance.
One of the
to
guys
make
I was
your money.
wondering about is fucking Josh Barnett. He failed last December. I still have yet to see him being suspended for anything. I still have yet to find out what he got suspended for.
I think he just took it. I think he was just like Chad Mendez.
So here's the thing. He made his TNA wrestling debut in fucking February. Because, he's always been a pro wrestler, off to the side.
Right.
And then I saw him do an interview, I think, in July, where he was basically like, yeah, I don't know. He's like, I haven't even been given a suspension yet. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he says, I haven't been given a suspension yet. He's like, I sent all of my supplements to USADA, and they found a couple tainted supplements, but yet nobody has given me anything.
Because they just thought he quit.
He went to pro wrestling. I guess it's cool.
I guess he quit. We can quit.
You're going to suspend yourself for like a year to do pro wrestling? That's fine. Yeah,
It's fine.
Yeah, it's good.
We'll not actually give you a fine or anything.
It's normal. It's normal.
It's going to be Josh Barnett cold case.
Well, and then you heard the craziest news about John Jones, right? This is coming out, I think, last week and this week.
Yeah. Is this the tainted supplement stuff?
So this is the crazy rumor, by the way.
The Rogan theory.
The Rogan theory, and it's a rumor that he was given, by the way. So there's no concrete evidence for any of this, but it all kind of makes sense. What it comes down to is John Jones, still on the cocaine.
This is all hypothetical.
Hypothetically.
Allegedly.
Hypothetical.
This is
not even our theory. It's the theory.
This is the theory that's floating around there. So apparently, when people cut their cocaine, it is common to cut it with creatine.
I didn't know that. I thought baby powder was the thing. Or
Yeah.
something like that. But,
I had no idea.
I'm glad that there's a healthy alternative to my urges now.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to
just
don't
daggers of freaking creatine. And
don't want to be doing the baby laxative because that's never fun. Where you have drips out of both ends.
Yeah,
baby laxative, niacin.
Yeah.
So
niacin gives you like the burn, man.
Yeah.
So
All of a sudden you
apparently,
get a heat rush.
That's what I heard.
that this is
Well, I'm just taking niacin.
this is a popular thing that people are cutting it with creatine. Okay. Second part of the theory is there are cheap creatines out there that are including Turnaball into their creatine to give you a bigger pump so that it shows that their product's a better product. Some of them even say on there it has it, but there's some that have that don't say it, but they're using it anyway to mix in.
Well, the Coke dealer's not looking to see which one doesn't have Turnaball
So
in
if you
it.
connect all the dots, what they're saying is that John Jones did blow 10 days before his fight with Daniel Cormier. 10 days was also his birthday. So it's possible he did a birthday bump that had been cut with creatine that was a cheap creatine that was using Turnaball, thus he tested positive for Turnaball.
Kangaroo meat.
So again, all in theory, all kind of weird.
It's like the Mexican meat. So if you get away with taking Mexican meat, can you get away with taking Japanese blow?
So I guess so do you, as John Jones, do you go up to your dealer or whoever gave you that bump and was like, bro, I need you to bring some of that shit back and tell me where you got it so that I can get USADA to test it and be like, I was just doing cocaine.
Yeah, because it's
It
not.
wasn't Turnaball.
I wasn't
Turnaball
in
just happened to be in the creatine that happened to be in the cocaine.
It's like the Chewbacca
It's not my
defense.
fault.
Why is it Chewbacca on Endor? Chewbacca don't live on Endor.
It's not my fault because cocaine you don't test for, remember?
Yeah, it's out of competition.
It's out of competition. I should be able to fight again.
I'm with Nate.
I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
That sounds
Crazy theory, though.
If Chewbacca lives on Endor, then obviously it must be true. It's the only way it makes sense, man.
Man, I should have made another slide with fucking Johnny Cochran from South Park and John Jones.
if the straw don't fit,
It's straw don't fit. He'll make it fit.
Yeah.
He'll make it fit.
those big old Burger King straws.
No, man, you get an icy straw with a spoon at the bottom.
That's like a bump and dump.
That's
good.
I thought we were doing like the pixie sticks where they're like that big.
Not that any of us know about any of this, just allegedly.
It's horrible.
So if you look at that, with cocaine not being tested for out of competition, this is an entirely plausible theory. But then John Jones still has to go, yeah, I was totally doing cocaine.
Right.
That's the hurdle that has to be.
No, but you can admit
crossed.
that now. I mean, that's just like Nate telling everybody,
if he
I'm
says-
smoking on CBD right now.
But if he says I did cocaine,
High
aren't
as
they
fuck.
going to want to test it? It's like a tainted supplement, right?
Yeah, but you gonna go back to fucking Scarface though? Hey man, you got any of that stuff that you gave me like 2 weeks ago? If they still have their same shit from 2 weeks ago, they ain't moving it right.
Yeah, that dude's broke.
Oh no!
Or he's dead.
No, if it's cut, that guy's buying barrels of it like that. If it's cut, I'm just saying. That's what I hear. That's what I don't know.
Rumors.
Man, it makes my teeth numb talking like this.
Sakakibara,
What are you talking about, man?
the president of RIZIN, announced on his Instagram that Mr. CroCop, the winner of the RIZIN Grand Prix 2016 Grand Prix, will be returning to RIZIN after a year. He said he has decided to fight for us in front of his Japanese fans.
Yeah.
A few more time before he retires. He would like to continue to face meaningful opponents until he hangs up his gloves. Keep an eye out for Mirko's final chapter.
For the love of money.
It's about money, dude.
Of course it's about. Well, isn't he still in Parliament?
I don't know.
Parliament Funkadelic?
Yeah. He was in Parliament for what?
A while.
Croatia, right?
Yeah, Croatia is where he's from. Yeah.
He was in the Croatian Parliament for a while. I don't know if he still is. Maybe that's what the thing is. Maybe he's moving on.
Moving on.
Back to kicking people in the face.
I mean, he's one of 2 guys to ever hold a Grand Prix title, a kickboxing title, and another championship other than Alistair Overeem at the same time.
I mean, age is catching up to these guys. They all got to realize that. But it looks like Bellator is really moving towards that Masters division that we're always talking about.
Yeah.
Legends?
Yeah, granted he's going
legends.
to RIZIN, but it looks like this is going to be more of a thing to bring back all these old names because it's a good money bump.
Definitely a good money bump. Into some crazier news, we have
This just happened.
This just happened.
So Bellator 187 happened in Dublin, but
it's still happening right now, right?
it's tape delayed for us, so it's going to start here in a couple hours or something like that.
Right.
So we're not going to go over the results for that later.
We can.
Do we have the whole results?
It already happened.
It's done.
The whole card's over?
It's over.
Okay, I thought it was still
So if you watch Bellator 187, obviously we're going to spoil it for you, but you're also going to see something crazy happen at the end of one of the matches.
Yeah, so several of Conor McGregor's teammates, obviously.
Or do you think they're going to cut it?
I don't know. Probably. On tape
Maybe.
delay, they'll probably cut it.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
No, because Bellator's actually... They're already putting it out.
Yeah, I thought it was live. I thought they were actually broadcasting it live.
No, Bellator's saying wait till
They did broadcast it live, but not on Spike. It's on tape delay.
Oh, okay.
No, they said wait till you see what happens tonight. They're using it. They're going to use it. I mean, as much as Coker's probably pissed off about it, but
They use the UFC's champ against them.
The story is, again, there are several of McGregor's teammates that are fighting on this card. Obviously, it's taking place in Dublin, Ireland.
Who'd have thought? He's got teammates in Dublin?
Who would have thunk it?
Charlie Ward
What do you know?
scored a knockout victory over John Redmond. Conor McGregor rushed the cage, jumped over it.
Finally, I get to celebrate!
Jumped
He
in
did. He flew over.
and tackled his own teammate and hugged him.
Give me your belt.
Tackled his own teammate and hugged him. They stood up. The referee
Goddard.
happened to be Mark Goddard, the same referee who told Conor to sit the fuck down during the Art of Muhammad.
Oh, is it the same?
Same
Oh,
referee.
Okay. All right.
Goes over to Conor and puts his hand, or goes to turn him, and Conor McGregor shoves him.
Didn't he? I thought he pulled Conor off of his buddy first.
He did. He pulled him up and basically was going to tell him to leave the cage because once again, you're not an official cornerman. You're not supposed to be in the fucking cage. A. B. They didn't even have the rest of the staff in the cage.
They didn't even have the gate open when he jumped over.
The gate wasn't open. Goddard was still trying to make sure that, going to the corners. We're calling this still a KO, right? The fight's over. I know I called the fight, but let's get the commissioners
need to add
in.
angle cage.
Yeah, like Yama pit fighting back
with razor wire on it.
We're gonna go with the original UFC plan, which was gonna have a moat around it,
or a lid. Can they put a lid on it?
Well, they had to stop.
It'd have to be a bubble top because you got guys like Tim Sylvia and Stefan Struve. That would,
yeah. Because you remember, you had guys like Tank Abbott trying to throw guys over, and they're like, "All right, you can't remove a guy from the cage anymore."
Don't put it that high. Put some rings on that shit. Stick their ass.
Now it's Thunderdome.
Imagine the shit Anthony Pettis would be coming up with if there was rings and ways to hang from the cage.
Okay.
Let's do it.
That crazy ass Hurricane Rod I just saw in Japanese wrestling.
Right. So he jumps over, hugs his friend. Mark Goddard attempts to break up their embrace. McGregor immediately gets mad, shoves
their embrace.
You don't stop me when I'm hugging someone. You don't stop me.
And chaos ensues. Then Goddard goes over to check on the opponent who got knocked out, and McGregor goes running over and getting in his face about that. Mm-hmm. They had to ask McGregor to leave the entire time. He's yelling at him and pointing at him. He gets escorted from the cage. He immediately runs back into the cage while this is still happening. It's all at once. Runs back in and says, "Now that's a fucking stoppage." basically questioning the stoppage, I guess, that happened in the previous fight. I don't know.
With
Artem,
whatever.
Yeah, other times that his teammates lost.
Whatever,
and then
Conor McGregor was like a middle child, wasn't he?
and then
I got to assume because he just fucking he needs the attention.
he gets removed again. Kind of does a little victory, like half lap, runs and tries to jump back into the cage, and an official stops him. And as an official stops him, he slaps him across the face.
Really?
Jumps down, does a victory lap, getting the crowd all riled up, and then finally gets escorted away.
He's like Oprah with money right now. You get $100,000. You get $100,000.
So
you get a slap. And
that's the question.
Well, all these people are going to sue his ass.
That's the question.
This is true.
Does Conor McGregor get fined for his actions in the cage?
I don't know.
He should be arrested. He should be arrested.
This is Dublin. They're not going to arrest him in fucking Dublin.
It doesn't matter.
They wouldn't arrest Bono over there either.
I can see Bono rushing the cage. He's got a guitar in one hand. He's like, "Oh, I can sing your song."
We got to talk about global warming.
So we got the video up on our Facebook.
We're going to save the whales.
News. But again, Bellator released a statement saying that they're looking into this matter very seriously. That they are, they're all about the safety of their fighters and staff.
How do you do anything?
The commission should fine him.
In Ireland, though, it's not going to happen. It's not going to. I don't see it.
Do you think the UFC does anything? This is for part of their fighter conduct that you're not becoming of a champion, becoming of a responsible fighter. I mean, they've done shit like that before.
But they're afraid to discipline him right now, and they should.
But that's such bullshit.
It is bullshit.
It is bullshit.
It's complete bullshit.
Do you think nothing happens?
I think if anybody does anything,
do another one of these apologies to another reporter.
So pretty soon it's like, okay, this is my apology for the week. I'm sorry about rushing the cage. I'm sorry about the faggot thing.
I'm sorry I slapped her
I'm
ass.
sorry about this. I'm sorry about cheating on my wife. I'm sorry about the drugs. I'm sorry about
I threw
this.
a can at somebody again. And again.
I'm sorry for my can partners getting in the ring and fighting and calling themselves champs. I think tapped out by, Jake Shields.
I think if the UFC does something, it would be smarter than to do it behind closed doors, too.
I think
those are the things. That's the good stuff. The stuff that
I think that it needs to happen. Obviously, publicly, they need to fine him. I think either Bellator or the Commission needs to fine him, or the UFC needs to do some sort of discipline.
I don't think Bellator can fine him because he's not their employee. I don't think the Commission's going to fine him because it's in Ireland. I think the UFC is going to do something.
They should have Kevin Spacey interview.
Interview him?
Do something with him.
Just cast him in a Bryan Singer movie.
Put him on the couch.
Be fine.
There's a lot going on.
Put him in a Harvey Weinstein movie.
That's a horrible joke. We're bad people.
Back in the news.
Felices.
Yeah, remember the statement she said? She said that
I don't care.
This is not about beauty. This is about looks.
But
it's about all the fighters who are overlooked, who are very talented. It's even if they had a little bit of a push from the big machine, not about their looks, just about a chance to shine, to be put on the main. That's what this is all about. And then she releases a whole series of photos like this.
Look at that. Just look at that.
Where it's not about looks. It's not about beauty. It's about their chance to shine in the cage. Of course, this is going into her fight coming up.
Hey, whatever.
Released a whole series of these photos.
When Tito used to stand like that in the J Block, I was just like...
Where they're like very voyeuristic. This one, I mean, it looks like it's filmed from a locker.
Tito's head just leaning over like this. Whatever. I mean, good for her. Make that money.
Yeah, but do you think she's just shut up about the whole, like, it's not fair, it's about the pretty people?
Well, again, I mean...
Or is she going back to her original stance was, sex sells, I'm going to do what I want, fuck off.
Oh, yeah.
I think that should be, you should be a little more open about that if that's what you're doing.
That's what she used to do. Yeah. When she was doing all the like cosplay stuff, she goes, look, I know what it is. This is what gets me sponsors. This is what gets me looks. I'm going to use my body. I'm comfortable with it.
Why not? Whatever you got to do whatever you got to do. Just don't be mad when other people do it and it works for them. That's my thing.
I mean, I'm going to start cosplaying.
You're going to be a troll.
I'm going to come in here dressed like Zelda next week. Not Link. Oh, yeah. I mean Zelda.
Zelda. Nice.
I don't know where I'm going to find that costume, but I'm going to work on it.
I'm sure right now somebody's stitching it up for you right now.
We'll be Chun-Li the week after that.
Dana White recently talking about their move to Perth, Australia. Now, prior to this year, I believe, they had some issues with Western Australia. In 2013, Western Australia basically said, we will only allow mixed martial arts if it's in a ring. We will not allow a cage for mixed martial arts. And they're
semantics, whatever.
Yeah. So Dana White recently came out and said, he goes, the fencing there is for safety. It's so people can't fall out while they're fighting, which obviously
What if we paint ropes on the inside of the ring?
And he says, what do I think about the Athletic Commission of Western Australia? I think they're ridiculous. But you know what's great is about the holdouts like that, they make the event even better. He's like, when we finally got into New York, Madison Square Garden, one of the biggest events ever, we broke a bunch of records. So I think the same thing is going to happen in Perth. UFC 221 is going down February 11th in Perth, Australia, in Western Australia. They finally rescinded.
Did they ask somebody what place is this, and they were trying to say planet Earth, and they were drunk? Where are we?
They're saying there is hope, obviously, for the Australians that possibly Bobby Knuckles. We'll get into this way later in the show, but Bobby Knuckles is from that area. That he will have a unification bout with George St. Pierre in Perth, UFC 221 in February. We talked about this again. We'll get to that story after the fights. Further into some more Dana White news. Dana White has said 100% they are getting into boxing. Nah, not me. I'm not leaving the UFC. The UFC is getting into the boxing.
I'll take half.
Is getting into the boxing game.
It's not him by himself, but I'll take half.
He says,
I said it before everybody else did.
He said, and Ari Emanuel are getting into boxing as the UFC.
Yeah. I will give you credit.
I'll give you partial credit.
I'll take half.
Partial credit.
Yeah.
You're the one who said it was never going to happen.
I said Dana White's never leaving the UFC to go to boxing. That's exactly what I said.
Don't do it, Joey.
Don't give him the semantics because he'll lose full credit. We want to give him half credit.
We don't like each other at all. Any of us. No, it's just a joke. We are all playing characters for your entertainment. You're all being duped.
We're all standing on electric buttons right now, and if we actually start fighting, we get zapped.
Knock it off, Matt.
Hit me again, Ike.
And the last little bit of news with Dana White, we have Mr. Dana White here looking like good old Don King. And that is because the Ali Act. Was talked about today. There was a commission today to, federal legislation amending the Ali Act into MMA, led by Mark Wayne Mullen, a retired fighter, successful entrepreneur, and congressman representing the 2nd District of Oklahoma.
He played a big part in getting this passed.
It's not passed yet. They went to a committee today where they talked to multiple people, including Randy Couture and Mark Ratner of the UFC. It started off with saying that we had Randy Couture says, unlike in boxing and kickboxing, MMA promoters do not and have not been required by any athletic commission to utilize independent or objective rankings. That without merit-based rankings, fighters are unable to obtain title bouts that they may or may not have earned. Mullen went into the fact that Dan Henderson should not have been given a title. He says, I like Dan Henderson. It's no knock on him, but he wasn't even in the top 10. When was he in the last top 10 and he got to fight Bisping for a title shot? It seems like it's a little bizarre.
But this seems like, where does it say anywhere in the rules that if you're in the top 5, then you're guaranteed a title shot?
So Mark Ratner says, look, it was a natural rematch from a fight 4 or 5 years ago. That's why when Dan Henderson fought him, that we made this bout. He goes, wasn't this for a title shot? This is Mullen again. He says, that means the world championship belt isn't really a world championship belt. So it's really what Lawrence Epstein, he said, a UFC CEO, personally told me, which is it's just an award we bestow to the best fighter of that night. It's not an actual world title. Whether that's true or not,
interesting.
We have to see what comes out of that.
So using that, so it's not truly a Super Bowl then.
So yeah.
Because it's not played by people.
You can't put salad in it. It's not a bowl at all.
It's not a Super Bowl.
He then said, how did
Super Bowl? It's a Super Bowl.
How did George St. Pierre get a title shot?
Bowl.
And he said, well, George St. Pierre was a former champion. Fought for,
Is it truly Stanley's Cup?
Somebody's cup.
Also former best pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
Okay.
He said, look, we put on fights for the fans that they want to see, and they want to see competitive fights. Fighters and fans and sports reporters keep MMA promoters honest, and the success of these promotions, including the UFC, is a testament to the fair way of these enterprises and how they are managed. Mullen again says there is no backstop for MMA fighters. They can take it or leave it, and that's why I say the UFC has become the Don King to MMA.
Here's my thing with this, though.
Ruining the ranking system, that we need a ranking system similar to boxing, and saying that the UFC would still have its champion, Bellator would have their champion, and if the rankings dictated, they would have to fight each other And this happened.
That's what I
However,
don't understand, though. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Ratner argues, which is very smart on his part, saying, look, a UFC champion versus champion from another organization represents a health and safety risk for UFC champions, especially because UFC athletes are protected under USADA with random, comprehensive, out-of-competition anti-doping tests, which other organizations are not using.
Well, but I mean, if they came, if they came to a unification thing like that, then I would guess if they were going to
goes
fight,
across the bill,
they would have to be, you know.
That's just stupid to me, though, because there's nothing. I agree that rankings should matter, and I do agree.
For sure.
And that's one of the things that I had a big problem with Conor McGregor, going for his super fights and stuff when all that was going down. But at the same time, when you're going to force a rule like this, where it was never really written to begin with, where nobody ever said that number 2 had to fight number 1. Nobody ever said that.
Right.
So of course the UFC is going to and WME are going to make fights that people want to see. That's going to make them money.
Yep.
And so, but if you're going to say that, then okay, then I guess we got to take our World Series baseball champions and make them go play in Japan then too.
Yeah, because we could do the true tournament SEC bracket where number 1 fights number 8.
Yeah, right? And just kind of
It's true. It's true.
I mean, that's the thing is, I think...
are we going to take the NFL up to CFL?
As a fight fan...
Do we have to do that?
That's not even right, though.
No, it's not. It's mean.
They play the shorter field.
It's mean.
The way I feel as a fight fan is
the end
that
zones are just bigger.
I want to see
Sorry.
rankings that matter, but I also want to see fun and competitive fights.
Yeah.
Like, that don't have anything to do with the rankings. Like, I'm okay with super fights at a certain point. I'm okay with these legend fights. I'm okay with...
But I think what they're saying is that
You know what I mean?
it shouldn't be for belt contention. Super fights shouldn't be for belt
Correct.
contention.
Yeah, I think it should be, you know...
But I would like to see Askren come and fight his counterpart in the UFC before he retires.
Does it have to be for a belt?
No, it doesn't have to be for
It could be for a whole other belt. That could be for the world title.
Okay, so let's go back to the Henderson thing. So they were like, oh, it's a rematch. It just kind of made sense, and that's why we made it happen. But it happened to also be for the belt. If it would have been like, oh, we're just going to do this as a rematch, would Henderson have said yes?
Right.
Probably not.
Probably
he wanted
not.
the belt.
He wants the belt, at least get paid to be a,
for a title fight.
You're not actually
We're going to offer you the
get that
champ.
money.
Yeah, we're going to offer you the champ, but not his belt. So what the fuck is this fight for then?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
But it would be because we all know that endorsements and bragging rights are really big. I mean, a lot of these fighters, like right now, Thug Rose is going to be a millionaire, not because she's making more money as a fighter. She's still going to make less than a lot of other people. But her endorsements now that she's got the title, she's a millionaire.
Spoiler alert, we haven't got to that yet.
I understand. Everybody knows, dude.
But the reason it doesn't work either, though, for the organization is if you're going to say, well, you can still have these fights without the belt, then what if your number 11 guy beats your number 1 guy, and then but the number 11 guy doesn't get the belt, then you got a paper champ.
We just had a guy go fight in the WPA. Just saying.
Right, well.
And it wasn't even the same fucking sport.
Still.
Matter of fact, he didn't even look like a boxer.
Did he look like a kickboxer?
He looked like a punching bag. He looked like Century Dawn, isn't that his name? He never even touched me for 3 rounds.
Let's go into some, what do we got here?
How do you get into this?
How do you get into this?
What do they call it? Autofellatio? Little autofillating.
PFL has released a press release talking about their recent event.
How awesome they are.
And how awesome they are.
Please be gentle.
The PFL Fight Night yielded the largest online audience ever for a PFL event, according to the PFL.
I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to put PFL on my chest and just bleed.
Just bleed.
So they said that they had a 4-bout card that totaled 238,000 unique views.
They had some big names on the purple
went up
carpet.
against Thursday Night Football, NBA games, and NHL games.
Online views.
Online views. Because that's the only place that this was broadcast was online.
It was on, what do they call that, Fight TV?
It was on YouTube, Facebook, Kaswaii, what is that, KISWE, ProfessionalFightLeague.com, Periscope, Fight TV, Hang Time.
Did they say it was on ProfessionalFightLeagueTV.com?
ProfessionalFightersLeague.com.
ProfessionalFightersLeague.com. Did they say it had the highest ratings ever for a Professional Fighters League event on ProfessionalFightersLeague.com?
Periscope.
It's the only way it feels right.
Yeah, that's how it feels.
I lost the bleeps, the creeps, and the meeps.
Yeah, so
I'm sorry. It's hard. I mean, I'm still with them.
I'm happy for you guys. You guys
Still with them.
Your
Your spin team is
really fucking good.
It's good. I'm still there.
You guys had your highest online ratings of any show that you've ever had of all the one shows that you guys have had.
online, according to yourself.
You see what I'm saying here, Sean?
Yeah, it's
difficult. I don't know.
If we weren't professional
Watch-
spinners, I don't think we would catch on to it.
Parts of this
Like the
online, but not live. I did go back and
850,000
watch
people.
parts of it. I was reading the live Reddit feed and the live MMA Underground feed, and I think the Sherdog feed all at the same time. Like I had triple windows open. I was kind of go back and forth. I would say, I don't know.
I just want to say this. As of right now,
They say that, that it was a small preview of judging by the overwhelming response, both at the event and online, that new and veteran fans alike have a lot to look forward to. First of all, I don't know what I'm looking forward to because I haven't seen jack shit about what's coming for the future, other than you're going to have a $7 million tournament in 7 weight classes.
Yeah,
That's all I know. It's the same shit I knew when you guys started the organization. I want details. Give me details to make me interested. Otherwise, right now, I'm not interested. 2, I don't know, based on what I watched, if the future does look good, in my opinion. And according to a lot of the people that were commenting on these threads, the production value didn't look as high as when it did with World Series of Fighting. And I don't know if that's just because they're new, but I thought Ray Seppo and all the guys were still running it. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion.
But being in the business, we also know that even if you're the same company, you're going to have different production crews.
True.
Probably. I just want to point out that we, right now, at this point in time, have the highest amount of viewers that we've ever had on a November 10th, 2017 show right now.
And it's not even out yet.
That's to us.
That's
not even out yet.
That's to us.
This is the highest viewership we've ever had on November 10th, 2017.
That's according to your numbers, right?
According to my numbers.
Yeah.
See, and then when we make statements like that, we look like assholes.
Well,
but we always look like assholes.
Going into a tournament bracket that actually is happening, Copa Combate, who has the TV deal that PFL used to have
They're on NBC.
on NBC, will be doing their English broadcast as well as on Telemundo, so you can watch it in either
So it's
language.
no longer racist. Got it.
Yep. You can check this out Saturday, November 11th, going down, what is that, 8 o'clock our time? 9 o'clock our time.
We're horrible at the
9:30?
whole... Yeah, it's probably going on right now as you're watching this.
No, November 11th.
It's November 11th somewhere right now.
Yeah.
Saturday.
And that is going to have the highest ratings ever for Copa Combate on NBC.
If it's in Brazil,
I
they're on
agree
the
with
other
that.
side
I
of
mean,
the world.
I predict just absolute crazy ratings for Copa Combate on NBC. Probably the highest they've ever had.
Highest I've ever had. I would say it's going to be the highest I've ever had on NBC for Copa Combate.
I'm the doubter.
Doubter.
We can't all agree. It looks crappy.
I had a partner
It looks
one time
lazy.
who had the highest growth of his website, his webpage on our website was his personal page.
Yeah.
He went up like 1,000% or something.
Right.
And he was all excited because he had the highest growth of everybody. Because his fucking page didn't exist the day before. So like literally getting a click was 100% increase.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
he clicked it 10
So
times.
you got 10 clicks, got 1,000% growth, and all of a sudden, yeah.
Well, Combate America is having, like I said, their Copa Combate, a one-night, 8-man, $100,000 grand prize tournament going down tomorrow night.
Is it
Check
winner
it out.
take all?
Yeah.
Ain't that about a bitch?
NBC. Yeah.
Get one of their
NBCSN.
bacon wrapped hot dogs.
Check
They're
that
delicious.
out. Not to be outdone.
Street corn, man.
For news this week, Bellator announced
Elotes?
Quentin
Elotes.
Rampage
Elotes.
Jackson has signed an exclusive fight deal again with Bellator.
So he's with Bellator, CroCop's with RIZIN. Okay.
Yep. So he remember he was with Bellator. He had to go back to the UFC, and then he went back to Bellator. He signed a new multi-fight contract with them. And again, not to be
story's
outdone,
tits.
I would like to say that I called this, I think, last week. Or was it the week before?
It was definitely last week because you were saying your question was bringing it back to PFL.
Yeah.
Is Bellator going to have a Grand Prix before PFL finishes the
Right.
season? To which we said yes.
Yes, they fucking are. Today, they announced heavyweight Grand Prix with some interesting...
Dodge has got crystal balls.
yeah, sometimes. Got to shine them up real well. Other times they're a little foggy.
I've got a Newton's cradle. Click. Click.
I like Fig Newtons.
So in your heavyweight
cradle?
Grand Prix
I don't know.
for Bellator, we have Fedor.
Yes.
We have Meathead, Matt Mitrione.
Love it.
We have Roy Nelson,
And his hair.
Frank Mir.
This is fucking ridiculous.
And then we have Rampage Jackson,
I love it.
Ryan Bader, Chael Sonnen. King Mo.
This kind of makes it move, dude. This lineup is awesome.
Yeah, this is like when they announced the heavyweight Grand Prix for Strikeforce.
Yeah, this makes it move for sure. This is great. I love this.
I'm super excited for this.
This graphic is so good. I'm almost pissed Josh isn't here.
Right? Didn't I do a good job?
To put it all the way across the screen.
Yeah, look at that.
Way to go, Josh. Hope Monterey's worth it,
Oh,
buddy.
beauty.
Isn't
what
it?
a beauty.
It's a beauty, eh? It's a beauty.
Is that Game of Thrones Many-Faced God? Eric?
Yeah.
Or is that Mortal Kombat?
No. That's the Many-Faced God
Nice.
cover from Game of Thrones poster they did for season 6.
I love it. Well done, man. That's exciting.
If you're impressed by graphics, those are graphics to be impressed by.
Is this going to be done in 3 different events?
Yes, I believe it's going to be multiple event. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be multiple events, but do we know if it's going to be 3?
I believe it's probably most likely it'll be 3. So this is going to be happening. I'm super stoked for this.
I am too. I'm going to watch this.
Yeah, I'm super stoked.
Okay, how many of those guys make it with no injuries?
That's the other thing is that Scott Coker is smart where he does these multi-night where they always have backups. There's always somebody in the reins. So who on the heavyweight roster do you think, or even in the light heavyweight, obviously, because we have fucking Bader, Chael Sonnen, and Rampage jumping in on the heavyweights that they have in the wings that you think could.
Or who do I think's back there?
Yeah, for an alternate, to be an alternate.
Czech Congo.
Yeah, okay.
Czech Congo for sure. I'm just not familiar with the heavyweight roster.
I mean, it could be light heavyweight too. You think Tito's high?
Oh, this is right.
You
Yeah.
think Tito's
Tito
high-
and Chuck are back there?
You think Tito and Chuck are in the background?
Who's the big
Dude, Chuck's back there. Like, put me in
big
coach.
buff dude?
Put me in coach. Batista?
Oh, in that case, it'd be like, oh, we need a fighter. What's going on? And then you hear background, woo! Or Sting comes out.
I wish I wouldn't have slept with 10,000 women.
I think he just wishes he wouldn't have admitted to sleeping with 10,000.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay, since we're gonna bring that up, did you guys watch it?
I haven't watched the whole thing
now.
yet.
It's the first time I've ever watched one. I was enthralled, dude.
Really?
Okay.
Not only because like, yeah, I mean I dug him and everything. I wouldn't say like he was like my standout guy or anything. But once they started talking to him, man, I was like, dude. I mean, he's happy, but he's not happy.
No, he's not.
He's not happy at all. And even his kids, when they talk about him, they're like, we really don't like him. Nobody does.
Nobody does.
Nobody likes him.
Who's the
So
wrestler?
who do we got? Just by the way, that are
Bobby
sitting there?
Lashley.
We got Bobby.
Yeah,
Big
Lashley.
Bobby Lashley.
Big
We
Bobby
got Czech
Lashley.
Congo. We got Vitaly Minkanov. We have Karnatarov is still in there.
Dude, Ken.
Ken Shamrock
Dude,
is
bring
still
Ken!
technically
No way. No
technically
Ken.
under
Bring
contract.
Ken. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm starting right now. Hashtag bring Ken.
Vanderlei.
Bring Ken, dude. I'm
he
calling.
want?
I'm
Does he
calling
want
Dan.
Rafael
Rafael
Cavalcante.
Nah.
Dude, right there. Put Ken back in there.
Yeah, put Ken-
I just
put
would
Ken in
also
there all
like
day.
to point out that Dream back in the day had a Super Hulk tournament where we had some crazy fighters in, which made no sense whatsoever. I mean, Jose Canseco.
Oh, God, that one.
Jose Canseco.
He fought the really big
Hongman Choi.
Hongman Choi.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, let's fill it out. Let's make it a real
Minimal Man
Grand
ended
Prix.
up winning that.
That's right. I remember
If you
that
follow
now.
Minimal Man's championship, technically right now, Matt Meathead Mitrione has it because he got it from Fedor.
Is Don Fry older than Shamrock?
I don't think Don Fry can
Don
fight
Fry's
right now.
older than whiskey.
So this is technically for the Super Hulk belt. Just saying.
Linear belt.
I don't know if you can say that anymore, according to the Senate, right? Or
What, you
Congress.
can't say Super Hulk?
Super Hulk belt.
talking about
Because is it truly a Super Hulk belt?
Are we talking about the Senate in Star Wars? If it pleases the Senate. May we make this for the Super Hulk belt?
Bellator 186 happened last week.
Okay.
Yeah, this was a thing.
This was the thing.
This was going down
dude,
at Penn State.
It was a good card.
Penn
And,
State.
oh, that's right, the Penn State card.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a great card.
Saad Awad got a TKO over Zach Freeman. Ed Ruth got a KO over Chris Dempsey.
Did one for Penn State.
Phil Davis got his win over Leonardo Late.
Did the other one for Penn State.
Complete clinic.
And Lamale McFarlane
Oh,
wins
dude, she whooped that girl's
over
ass.
Emily Ducote with a nice triangle armbar.
Yes.
And your main event, Ryan Bader gets a
Keeps
win
his
over
title.
Linton Vassell with a
I
And then
expect-
enters the heavyweight tournament.
That's crazy.
I expected a lot more. I thought Linton was quite younger than him, and I thought it just didn't translate.
Do we have a start date for that yet, by the way?
What?
The tournament?
No.
Damn it.
No official start
I'm
date.
like
yet.
legit excited about that.
I'm super excited about
If it
this.
doesn't have a date, it's not official yet.
Ooh, they announced it.
Okay.
Isn't that how it
I'm
works?
pulling for you, PFL.
Isn't that how it works? You announce it, it's official.
official.
No, Oh, well, PFL announced it. PFL announced it too.
Yeah.
They announced they were January.
Right.
Yeah.
18th. In Norfolk, right?
Well,
Norfolk and way that's happening.
Bellator, what do we got? 187 happened? Do we have that? Where's my slide? There it is. It's skipped over.
so this is like probably like now.
Yeah.
Why, if you're watching
This
this,
is happening. It's the same one
It's got
Conor
to be a
McGregor
great
interrupted.
card. It's code for murder.
code for murder.
So
like
yeah,
it.
you have Baby Slice.
Yeah, Kevin
his
Ferguson Jr. He got a submission, rear naked choke actually
Yeah,
over
good for
Fred
him.
Freeman. So he's shown some skills that his late father did with the submission stuff.
Did
That's
we
really
know
cool.
why it was a catch weight? Did he not make weight again? Or was it Fred? Right said Fred? He's
Right
too
said
sexy
Fred.
for the...
I'm too sexy
I don't
for
see
my
it.
scale. Too sexy for my scale. Then Paul Redmond got a win over Sergio De Jesus Santos.
Dude, he beat a guy with 4 names.
Yeah, pick one, dude. Pick one. Let's move forward.
Pick a name, man. Sergio Santos.
Sinead,
Batted 385 last week.
Sinead Kavanaugh got a win over Maria Casanova with a TKO.
Yeah, and
very
nobody
first
compares
round.
to you, Sinead.
Like, not only did she beat her in the very first round, she beat her before the clock even started.
Yeah, we don't have a
according to Wikipedia. She got a
Nobody
TKO.
has the official time.
TKO via stare down. AJ McKee got a win as well over Brian Moore with a rear naked choke. That was your main event.
Why couldn't it be Michael Moore? Why couldn't somebody choke out Michael
Why couldn't it be
Moore?
Sinead O'Connor?
It probably was.
It probably was.
And then, of course, we had our big fight card, UFC 217.
217.
Which, by the way, is a lot of people are saying, hands down, best card of the year.
Yes.
I mean, for everything that happened about it. Do you feel it's going to be top 10 UFC cards?
I think top 5.
Top 5?
I'm going top 5
Yep.
with this one.
There were 911 million streams.
No shit.
I'm just throwing a number.
All right. 9/11.
According to Dennis, the UFC did the most
conspiracy.
numbers for a UFC 217 card.
Yeah.
This is the
Hey,
highest viewed
I
UFC
will-
217 ever.
I'm Dennis, and I back that statement.
Hey, the numbers don't lie.
They don't.
100%.
And neither do Shakira's hips.
This card was absolutely huge. So the
Stacked.
total gate was
Great time.
Is that $6 million?
It's $6,200,000 at the gate.
18,000 people were there live.
12 million in concessions.
Yeah.
Just because the beers cost a lot there.
They do. So you want to jump off on the fight pass?
Yeah, Ricardo
Free card.
Ramos went up against Elman Zahabi. This was your first fight on your fight passes. Ended with a spinning back elbow in the third round.
That was crazy.
Huh.
Ricardo gets a big win over there. Curtis Blades
Man, Curtis, man.
also gets his TKO doctor
Man,
stoppage in
Curtis
the
got
second
that.
round over Oleski Olenek.
Now, this was the one. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, this was the one that
Curtis Blades?
It's a
he kicked him while he was down.
well
he not?
as he was going away.
That was the question about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that
then
was the question about
Dana
it.
White said, "Well, he only kicked his ear.
Yeah.
You can't kick them, though.
You can't kick them when he's on the ground."
Yeah.
So, kind of crazy. This whole stoppage again. New York proving that, hey, we might fuck this up. I know it's a big card, but buckle in, folks. It's the second fight of the night, and our athletic commission doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
Seriously. Jumping on to...
I don't put the whole blame on them.
I do.
These are just both. I mean, this and the thing that happens later. These
Yeah.
are just weird things that happen, and it just seems to happen in New York.
It's just people from the culinary union that are over there judging fights now.
They should be just judging chicken.
Jumping onto your prelims on Fox Sports 1. Randy Brown beat the brakes off Mickey Gall and now owns...
Man. Man.
What's the wrestler's name? CM Punk.
Yeah.
So Randy Brown now owns CM Punk.
Yeah.
That's just how that
If
works.
you do MMA math.
Yeah. No, he's his property. It's not like it's not MMA math like Randy Brown would beat CM Punk. He would, but it's his now. He's got to hold Randy Brown's pocket everywhere they go. That's what happens with CM Punk. That's just how he works. Ovince St. Preux got a KO head kick over Corey Anderson.
Man, I was looking for another OSP choke.
Yeah.
Not this time. You want to surprise
I
you.
wanted to see a
The
St. Preux
kick was
choke.
worth it. The kick was worth it, though.
And then Mark Godbeer got he got the DQ win over Walt Harris due to an illegal head kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Walt Harris kicks Mark Gardbeer in their knees him in the nuts. And as he's turning away, and the ref's like, "Hey, bro," he's like, "Kick him!" Kicks him in the head as he was turning away, and the ref's like, "Dude, what
You can't
the
do
fuck?"
that.
So they give him, and then he could not finish the fight. Obviously, Mark Gardbeer was like, "My nuts hurt. I got kicked in the face when I wasn't looking. Like, I'm done."
Did he take the 5 minutes?
Well, that's the thing is he didn't. They immediately called it a stoppage,
Really?
and they gave him a DQ. And that's the thing that Walt Harris is about, being like, you should have taken the 5 minutes and manned up. I mean, I didn't get kicked in the balls or the head, but I'm just saying.
Right. You got to take a break. Like you go out, you kick him in the balls, and you back off. Then you go out and you eye gouge him, and then you back off.
Yeah, and
that's
I
when you
give
fight.
Walt Harris the whole heat of the moment.
It is.
And you're
He
in a
says
tunnel.
he didn't see the ref be doing this while he was throwing. He's like, my kick was already going. There's nothing I can do about that.
And they're heavyweights, right? Yeah, this is heavyweight. Once that leg leaves the ground, bro, you ain't stopping it.
That's why they spin in circles instead of pull it back.
Yeah, that's like when you're a heavyweight in bed and your old lady's like, no, don't do it in there. And you're just like, oh,
It's already
sit
in
down
there.
then.
Yeah. It's happening with
Yeah.
it. Sorry. James Vick got Joseph
Vick.
Duffy with a TKO in the second round at the buzzer. This happened at the buzzer. Damn. Moving on to your main card here, this is UFC 217. Paulo Costa got a big stoppage over Pig Rig Hendricks, who just looked like shit coming in.
Dude,
the
he
cage,
beat him
man.
like a brick of bacon.
Johnny Hendricks needs to be the alternate for the heavyweight Grand Prix in Bellator.
Might as well.
That's where he needs to go. He needs to be out of the UFC.
This guy just went from like being the next big thing to nothing.
Well,
No,
he
he
was
is the next big thing. He's a very big thing.
And you know what? He went from, I was only fighting 70%, and that's why I didn't get the title the first time. Fucking, I don't know what happened. And then I had to fight 80%, and then I got it, and then I lost it when I only fought 76%. Like,
I blame monosodium glutamate.
well, and then I opened my own steakhouse, and I definitely couldn't make weight after that, and I just have been going downhill.
That's a true statement.
Somebody was thinking of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man when they shouldn't have been, and all of a sudden,
If you're confused on how you're going to make weight because you have your underwear on, there's a fucking problem. He went to weigh in and was like, I'm not going to make weight. Hold on, I got to take my underwear off. I didn't realize they weighed a pound or two.
That just proves that he's a guy at numbers. I
what
mean, just
the
like he was a number guy who was keeping track of his own strikes, his own hits, how he thought he should have been judged in the ring instead of worrying about trying to finish the fight. And now he's got his weight down to whatever.
Remember
How
when
does
he
your
first came
underwear
out?
wear a pound?
Remember when he first came
want me to show you?
Remember when he first came out and everyone just knew him as Happy Beard Guy and he was just like a wrestler?
Yeah.
But every now and then be like, holy shit, the wrestler struck and got a knockout. And he was like surprised himself, like, I have a beard. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I knocked somebody out.
It was a lot of fun back then. Now he's annoying as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
moving on.
He discovered barbecue. Rose Namajunas. Stephen
Wonder
Thompson.
Boy.
Wonder Boy went up against George Masvidal. What a great fight.
Dude, they put the whole crowd to sleep. They collectively slept the
I love
crowd.
you, bro. I love Masvidal. You are game bred for sure. You're a backyard fighter. You're through and through one of the toughest motherfuckers out there. Why are you trying to point fight somebody who's been point fighting his whole fucking career?
Yeah, either put your balls on the table or
Dude.
go back down and be a gatekeeper.
He
you
was-
have to put your balls on the table against Thompson.
That was.
You can't point fight a point fighter.
I figured Thompson was going to win this one anyway. So
Yeah, you guys got it, but I still thought Masvidal would at least, maybe he's actually going to fucking come in and be aggressive and, get him off of his game. No, didn't happen. I'm just going to tap him, and then you tap me. And I'm going to tap you, and then you tap me. You
play
tapped me
footsy.
twice. Wait, I need to get back.
I have to get that point back.
damn it.
Then Rose Namajunas came out and shocked everybody but Dennis.
And made everyone absolutely hate Daniel Cormier for doing commentary, by the way, saying that he should not be allowed to commentate if he's just going to be a fan yelling, Thug Rose!
It was shocking. It was really shocking.
Thug Rose!
Hey,
Like, that's
it was
all
not-
he
it was
yelled
not
the
that
entire
shocking.
time.
Did I not
thought
tell
it
you
was.
we were not going to leave the first round?
I think it was shocking that it was by strikes. I thought she would submit her.
Yeah.
I was
Strikes,
blown
But
away.
the way they started, and Joe was there, once they started the exchange, and I still didn't know if it was going to be Rose, but I thought one of them were going to knock each other out accidentally.
Man.
As the way that they were just violently swinging at each
Yeah.
other and putting themselves in harm's way. They were both putting themselves in harm's way to get that shot.
Joanna,
It was a great fight. It blew me away, man. It
they
really did.
normally do not have necessarily the make the losers of a fight do the press conference, which now the UFC's press conference is a little bit different. Instead of having everybody at a table, they bring one person out, they get to talk, they go back, they're done for the night. Another person comes out, they talk, they go back. So Joanna came out first. She actually, and they said, hey, why are you here? They don't normally make it. She goes, I feel like that it's part of the game. She's like, I'm a former champion. I want to prove that I'm still championship material, and I'm still, humble enough to say that I lost. Good for Rose. I will come back stronger, and I'm gonna make this happen. Shit happens.
I think she's still crazy.
So, and she kind of broke down a little bit at the press conference, but it was definitely a good.
Yeah, Yeah, your new champion, Thug Rose, Namajunas. Good for her. Moving on from there to the last fight of the night that I remember, TJ Dillashaw going up against Cody Garbrandt.
Wow.
And there was no love lost here in this fight. This was a wow fight. These guys wanted to kill each other.
Yeah.
This wasn't a bullshit like lead up to this fight where it was like, hey, let's try to make it look like we don't like each other. They hate each other.
First round, Cody Garbrandt almost finished TJ Dillashaw. I mean, that's a very apparent.
Well, I mean, we can't. I mean, you can assume it, but I mean, we've seen a lot of guys come up.
Seeing the stoppage that happened in the next round, I gotta believe that Cody Garbrandt was about to stop.
Right.
TJ Dillashaw based on the way the referee stopped the fight. Then TJ comes back, had that minute to recover, proved that he was championship quality material for a long time. Came back and just put a clinic to Cody. Ended up dropping him, followed it up very quickly. Crazy photo. I wish I should have grabbed that screen grab where he's yelling at him in his face.
Oh, right.
Just like all crazy, walks away. Yeah. Cody Garbrandt wants to still go after him. I think TJ's brother got into an argument with Cody's cornerman.
Really?
And Cody himself. Cody went to the press conference and still says, I'm the better fighter. He got lucky. It was a lucky punch. I need an immediate rematch.
And that's a horrible thing to say when you lose.
I don't know if
those are terrible things to go in and say when you lose.
I am still the better fighter. I am still a better champion. I deserve a rematch. He got a lucky punch. He said it multiple times.
But here's the problem is that your lucky punch that you got in the first round didn't finish the fight. The lucky punch he got in the second round finished the fight.
Yep.
So there's a difference.
Yeah. In a game of 7-minute rounds, I would have had him. If the football field was only 50 yards.
6 minutes, 44 seconds. Let's go with that. So we have a new champion there as well with TJ Dillashaw getting his belt back in the very second round.
And then he calls out DJ. He wants the fight with DJ.
Super fight.
He wants a super fight. He says he's willing and able to go down to 125 and become a 2-belt champ.
Are you serious?
Yep. I don't know how.
Christ.
Everyone actually in the press conference was asking him because he looks shredded at 135. How he's going to make 125, I have no idea, but apparently he says he can do it.
To poop.
Just one poop.
Don't forget Brain. Brain has to poop. And then moving on to your main event here, the return of George St. Pierre with Michael the Count Bisping. George St. Pierre, after I went back and watched it later the next day, looked like the dude had just not lost a step.
For anybody watching at home, Joey got slept that night.
Fuck. Yes.
By Horchata Moonshine.
I walked out front, sat on the front porch, and when my girl came outside, she came out. I was looking at the sidewalk. She's like, "You okay?" And I was like, "Home."
Nearly identical. This knockout brought to you by Horchata Moonshine.
Home now. Can't. Don't want to watch the main event. Nope.
George St. Pierre looked.
But George St. Pierre, you wanted to see him. I know. Home.
I would say, I mean, a lot of people are saying he looked a little slower, a little sluggish.
He was 15 pounds heavier.
I don't know. I don't know if he did watching it. I watched it twice now.
I think it's silly to say that he looked slower with him being able to finish his first fight in 8 years.
Yeah, wait. It's been 5 years, so
it's been 4 years since he's been back. And 4 years before that was his last finish.
He's never fought in 1080p or 4000. So that's why it looked funny. Was Twitter even a thing when he fought?
I think it just started.
It just started. He only fought in analog.
8-bit.
George St. Pierre, taking the belt from Michael Bisping, becomes the first guy, or now he's like the fourth champion, fifth champion to have fifth champion to be in 2 different weight classes.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Hands down, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of guys. Kenny Florian immediately put up this thing and got a lot of flack for it, saying that George St. Pierre should be pound for pound number 1 right now.
Yeah, he's the GOAT, dude.
The GOAT. Even over Demetrius Johnson. Demetrius Johnson's number 2.
You can't.
Because of the fact that he is a 2-belt champion, the fact he went on a 4-year layoff and came back and dominated the champion, and the fact that he was so competitive and dominative in the 170-pound class when he had the belt. That's why you consider him the GOAT.
So then
I consider him the GOAT. I think pound for pound and the GOAT are 2 different things.
Okay.
So I'd say GOAT. Pound for pound, I don't think anybody has been able to show why DJ is not.
I would agree with that. And I agree with you there as far as that there's got to be a difference. I do think he's the greatest of all time.
So do you think that if they do make the fight between him and TJ, that it should be at TJ's weight?
He should come up?
Yeah.
He's fighting Conor.
No, talk about Demetrius Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Demetrius Johnson and TJ.
I heard it was going to be like TJ and DJ against Lobov and Conor in a fucking steel cage match.
Steel cage match.
DJ's going to get on TJ's shoulders. And they're both going to fight Cain Velasquez.
Dana White.
Cain Velasquez.
We talk about what's next for George St. Pierre. Dana White said obviously Robert Whittaker is the bout to make. George St. Pierre said, I can't say anything for sure. I don't know what's going to happen. He's like, I'm very happy. I wanted to take one fight at a time, solve one problem at a time, make one decision at a time. He says, I need to go on vacation just for a little while. He did get his nose broken from those elbows. I don't know if it was broken or he was definitely damaged from the elbows from the bottom. So good on Michael Bisping on that.
And he took a fat cut to his forehead too.
Yeah. He said, however, I'm just going to take...
most beat we've seen him in a while.
I'm just taking a week off. Let me have my vacation. We'll talk to my management. We'll talk to the UFC. He did say, in my contract, I have to fight Robert Whittaker. So I didn't go, knowing that it was going to be this. He says also that he will not be a guy to freeze the division. He says, it's written in my contract I have to fight Whittaker. It gets me excited. I don't know. He's an excellent fighter. But... I'll clear it up after my vacation. Give me about 2 weeks, and then there's going to be an announcement being made about what's going to happen next. I have no desire to hold on to the title and freeze a division. That is definitely not what I want to do. There's a lot of different things that can change. Dana's the boss. We'll see what's going to happen. So there's rumors
was his pirate cornerman there or not?
No, Phil Nurse was not there. His new cornerman is Freddie Roach, who's decided to be his permanent cornerman.
Oh, really? And they even say that Freddie called the whole combo and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So like to a T to take him out.
Freddie's scary, man. He seems like he's almost like a cancer to MMA fighters, but
he's done.
I will tell you. I will tell you this.
He did go for George St. Pierre, but a lot of the fighters that he worked with then went on to get their asses handed to him.
I don't think
I'm not saying Freddie Roach is bad at what he does, but I think that because Freddie Roach is mainly a boxing trainer,
I think he's making that transition though, especially with George.
Good. Well, that's a good thing because when you got people who were not boxers to focus too much on their boxing, then you would see people like Arlovsky get the shit knocked out of him.
I don't think George is real happy about fighting this heavy.
I think that's what it comes down to as well. And like you said, I think he will either drop the belt and they will make Whittaker the undisputed champion,
right?
Which has only happened 3 times, where they've automatically promoted a guy for some sort of inactivity or someone dropping or whatever. Usually, what ends up happening is you have the interim fight the guy with the champ to unify the belts. But as far as stripping and promoting guys, it's happened 3 times. I think that could happen here.
Right?
Have we had anybody just vacate a belt and drop weight?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we've had guys vacate belts. I mean, you had Couture leave the UFC for reasons. We had BJ Penn
leave.
But
to switch weights.
Paul Wintello left.
Right.
Not necessarily to switch weights.
Weird.
But I mean, we've never had a guy jump up to get a belt like this. You know what I mean?
No, we've never had anything like this.
Yeah, and that's why I consider him the GOAT. I mean, to the fact that he was able to leave for 4 years, come back, defeat a champion, it didn't even look like he missed a step.
But he had talked about fighting heavier
before
he left.
When he was dominating the 170-pound division and Anderson was dominating the 185.
And Rory was still in the UFC.
And Rory's in the UFC. He said, I will have a super fight. I will move up in weight, but I need at least a minimum of a year off to put my weight where it should be.
Naturally build himself up.
So I don't know. What would you like to see? Would you like to see the Bobby Knuckles?
He's fighting Conor.
George St. Pierre fight?
No, I'd like to see him to go to 170 and take the belt back.
And take it away from good old Tyrone?
Yeah. Because I think if anybody...
Do you think he stays dominant there?
He would eat Tyrone's lunch. Yeah. And then he would destroy Lawler. Yeah. Nobody could touch him there. Like, if he dropped the belt and said, I'm coming back to 170, like, all of them, you hear collective moan from 170, like, shit, we're all gatekeepers again.
See, but you're not worried at all about Woodley's power?
No, because GSP's going to duck under it and Russell fuck him.
I don't know, dude.
Woodley's got good wrestling.
He ate a lot of punches.
Because he wasn't worried about the count knocking him out.
I agree.
You think it was? You think it was the Mayweather thing? Like, it's like, oh, I'll just walk right at you. I'm not worried about it.
He did say afterwards that he's getting too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Yep. And he
pulled the Donald Glover.
Do you think he drops the belt and then says, look, I don't want title fights. I just want big fights from now on?
I don't think he's into that at all because he said before on shows that money is not a problem for him.
Right,
and he got $2.5 million just to show up to this fight.
And the guy who runs fucking Canada tweeted at him. Justin Trudeau was like, hey, way to go. Have some maple syrup when you get home.
So like I said, you don't think
you made $2.5 million. Canada just made $2 million. You get to keep 500,000 of it.
Like I said, you don't think he drops the belt and fights Anderson Silva in a super fight that everyone
can't fight Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva's going to be suspended for 2 years.
Just saying.
No, because Anderson Silva's got too many asterisks by his name and too many losses.
Okay,
you got to think GSP. He hasn't lost. He dropped the belt and left for 4 years. Like
he's lost twice.
But but before that, once he got his belt back, he never lost.
Correct.
And in that time, Anderson Silva's lost 2-3 times.
Yeah.
Since then, so no, he can't fight Anderson Silva. He's going to fight Conor McGregor.
John Jones.
John Jones.
who may or may not be on cocaine.
No proof. No proof.
It's creatine.
Cretin.
Yeah.
It's creatine.
UFC Fight Night 120
Going down tomorrow night.
going down tomorrow.
Where's it happening?
This is happening on
Norfolk.
in
Not
Norfolk.
fucking way. Norfolk, Virginia. Jumping on your UFC Fight Pass, you have Darren Stewart taking on Carl Robertson, Jake Collier taking on Marcel Fortuna, and Court McGee, good old Court McGee, taking on Sean Strickland. Court McGee's got those giant, ridiculous hands. If he puts them on somebody, he can do some damage. The trouble is getting there.
Yeah.
Kicking off on Fox Sports 1, you have Angela Hill taking on Nina Ansaroff. Did Angela Hill dress up this time again?
I haven't seen the weigh-ins yet.
Oh, okay.
She dressed up outside, and she I don't know. She had her hands dressed up like the kumite. Is that where they dip their hands in glass?
Yeah.
And she
That's
was
blood
licking
sport.
the blood.
No, that's not blood sport. It's kickboxer.
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 Where he's kicking the fucking
So I think
pillar.
she did that. She does them outside now.
Yeah, because
So
they won't let her.
yeah, something happened.
Super Stage Northcutt going to be fighting Michael Quiones.
I'm taking Quiones.
I'm going to hope Sage wins this one, but you're probably right.
Okay.
Tatiana Suarez goes up against Vivian Pereira. And John Dodson, we got Dodson here, takes on Marlon Moraes.
I like that fight. I like that fight a lot.
If you've never heard any of our interviews with Dodson, they're great.
It's a good time. It's fun to talk
It's
to.
a really good time.
Moving on to your main card here, which I'm assuming is still on Fox Sports 1.
What year is it?
I don't know.
Is this on Fox or Fox Sports 1?
I don't know. This is like mom and dad
Fox
fighting.
Sports 1 now.
This is mom
This is not mom and dad fighting.
Yeah.
What year is it?
I never pick Clay the Carpenter Guida. He's going up against Joe Lauzon. Always picking Joe Lauzon.
I'm going with the
Wow,
Carpenter.
man.
I got to go with the Carpenters. Right, Matt? I'm going with the Carpenters.
I think this is for like fight of the night, titled number 900 between the two of these guys. Jesus Christ.
If Joe Lauzon can keep up with the tenacity of Clay Guida, Joe Lauzon by sub.
All right.
Right.
Plus,
See that too.
Clay's
by
been
rear naked.
Yeah,
Rear
Clay's
naked makes the most sense.
been training with the alpha male, right?
Clay's been training out of his Winnebago.
Oh man.
Is it even a Winnebago or is it just one of those like wood-sided fucking
I think-
station wagons?
No, it's a Winnebago because he
called
calls
a
it like the Dude
Winnebago.
Mobile, and the whole inside of it's done up like
It's a Winnebago.
Big Lebowski.
Captain Caveman. Winnebago.
Winnebago.
We got a catchweight fight
Winnebago.
going down to 138.5 pounds between Rafael Assunção
Somebody was
taking on
fat.
Matthew Lopez.
That'd be Matt Lopez.
Matt Lopez.
Lopez was fat.
Came in fat.
Way to go, Chunk.
3.5 pounds over.
Chunk. Nate
That's my
Marquardt.
right leg, 138. It's my right leg.
Nate Marquardt is making his return to the octagon, taking on Cesar Ferreira.
Marquardt.
Marquardt.
Marquardt's
Yeah.
back.
Anybody named Nate?
Is it Lord Marquardt? Lord Marquardt.
I just think of that South Park episode where all the aliens are Marquardt.
Donkey. Junior Albini taking on Andre Arlovsky. Woo.
Arlovsky.
Albini.
Yeah.
Arlovsky needs this, man.
I love
Doesn't
Arlovsky. I love Glass Jarlovsky, but
He needs this so bad. He
bullshit,
says,
man.
I'm pretty sure he's going to retire.
It's
if he doesn't win
bullshit.
this
The
fight.
referee was sleeping.
If he does not win this fight, he will retire.
again,
Albini.
property of Freddie Roach right there. The immortal Matt Brown coming back to fight Diego Cartwheel Sanchez.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes.
Hope Matt Brown knocks the shit out of
Matt
him.
Brown's retirement match.
No.
Should be
I
Diego
wanted to
Sanchez's
knock the
fight.
yes right out of him.
Knock
Should
the
be
yes
his
out of
should be
Knock
Diego
the Y off
Sanchez's,
it till he's just
retirement
match
as
as
well.
well. Jesus.
Can you spit that one out of him?
I was doing cartwheels in my head. Sorry.
And then Dustin Poirier up against Anthony Pettis. This will be electric.
I like
watch
this fight. Dustin Poirier says he should get a title shot if he beats Anthony Pettis because the last two guys who beat Anthony Pettis got a title shot, so it makes sense.
Makes sense. If you do the math, I'm just saying.
Do the MMA math.
This is just a great main event for a Fox Sports 1 card. It's going to be an electric headliner
Dude,
for sure.
use your toes.
Then you got to carry the 4.
I can't see
I'm
him.
not counting for you. Again, tomorrow night, Fox Sports 1, you get it for free, so make sure you check that out. That's pretty much it for this week. Big thanks to our sponsors, MyMMAnews.com. We are the official podcast.
Of my MMA news.
We're not, though, really, are we?
I kind of. I'm saying we are. I mean, we got a logo.
They do this 24/7. We do this once a week, so make sure you check them out again, MyMMAnews.com. Also, Dependable Solutions. If you innovate your business, if you want to take credit cards, if you do take credit cards, if you're looking for a better rate on your credit cards, all that stuff, Dependable Solutions can hook you up. make sure you check them out because that's what they do. They save you money. And of course, find us at SplitDecisionMMA.com, Split Decision MMA Podcast on Facebook, SD_MMA on Twitter and Instagram, and follow us on iHeartRadio. That's it from the SinCal Studios. It's Bueller, Dodge, and Dennis, who's not here anymore, saying have a good night. We'll see you at the fights.